Welcome back to My Heart to Speak. My parents lived to be 75 years old. They were married for 52 years. And it was amazing to me as a young man, how could some people be together for such a long period of time? I was amazed at the longevity of their marriage, their relationship. But what I learned was marriage can be a beautiful thing, as well as relationship. Why? Because love never fails. It gets you past disagreements and disappointments and frustrations. I was glad that I saw and had an ocular demonstration of what love really looks like. Interestingly enough, nowadays most people don't get a chance to see this kind of relationship and love in action. What I mean by that is most people look at television, they have to resort to movies and books in order to see what this actually looks like. So what they believe is the actual masculinity or position of a man is simply obnoxious, absurd, and outdated. What they believe is when a man finds a wife, yes, he finds a good thing. Then you can stick a fork in him, he's done. What they believe is in a relationship, one person is right and the other person is usually the husband. But a legacy was formed in the Henderson household. So let me tell you a little bit about my dad. He was a 150-pound man with a resolve, quiet gentleman, and he was exceptional. Dad would always say to me that never a failure, always a lesson. He would get up at midnight sometimes getting phone calls from people who needed help, and I'd watch him go and help them. He taught me that to see in people what they can be and not what they are. They say imitation is the highest form of flattery. I pray that I try to imitate my dad every day. When people see you, who do they see you imitating? When they see you, who do they think you represent? When they see you, what do you stand for? 1 Corinthians 16 talks about being a man and being strong and doing everything in love. My dad gave me a few things that he invested in me, and I wanted to share them with you. The first thing that he gave me was a work ethic. Dad worked 36 years on a job, and he always had a hustle. I would go with him sometime he sweep parking lots. I go with him sometime he cleaned buildings, or he landscaped. He was always on the hustle, and he always told me 2 companies elicited his services all the time. The light company and the gas company. And it's amazing to me now because some people you can pay to sleep and they wake up and quit. Number 2, he shared his cooking skills with me. Now, interestingly enough, his cooking skills, I got late, but I did get them. But I watched him as a young man in the house cooking. He would cook hot water cornbread, yams, and fried chicken. Dad was like a mad scientist in the kitchen. Because every now and then a coon, a possum, deer, rabbit would run through the kitchen, but they wouldn't make it out. He wouldn't tell you what it was, but he'd cook it up and it was good. Let me drop a footnote here. Never, ever, 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 ever trust a skinny cook. Number 3, Dad was patient. The man had patience as long as I attended. He was absolutely patient. He would always say to me that, man, when God was passing out patience, I wouldn't have enough to stand in line. But I watched him and his patience with my mother, who required some patience. I watched him with my grandmother. He just exemplified love through his patience. Number 4 is discipline and authority. Now, he pushed me in this area. See, sometimes we just need the power of a push, as I stated before. If you look at our culture today, most people live in I'm going to do me mode. Whatever they want to do,
however they want to live, how they treat people. I mean, it's fine. A lot of kids are without father figures in the home, and some are without any male role models at all. We need to change that. You see, some mothers will negotiate with boys in the area of discipline, so they grow up thinking later on they can negotiate the system. Guess what? They don't get a second chance. At home, my wife and I practice time out with the boys occasionally. My dad, he practiced knockout. He only spanked me probably 2 times in life, but man, I thought that man would accidentally kill you. I wasn't afraid of him, but I respected him. If kids don't see and respect the authority in the home, how will they respect a manager on the job, an elder in the family, or an officer who pulls them over? How will they respect a teacher in the classroom? They won't. You see, mother was the thermometer. Dad was the thermostat that regulated the temperature in the house. And it was that regulation that propelled me to be a business owner, have a family, and pursue vision. But I wasn't always this person. You see, I graduated on the night shift from an HBCU. Then got fired from a corporate job. Lost my house. My dog even stayed with the new owners. But never a failure, always a lesson. Jim Rohn has a quote that says it's not the wind that determines our direction, but the setting of the sail. You can be chasing after a whole lot of things in life and run right past your very reason for being. You know, it's been said that if you buy a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, then you gotta buy him a license, a rod, a bait. Man, you gotta drive him back and forth to the lake. Sometimes it's just better to get that brother a fish dinner. But if he knows why he's fishing, he'll probably figure it out himself. Thanks, Pop, for making my why big enough, for allowing me to figure out some of it myself. Never a failure, always a lesson. This has been KR Henderson. If you like what you have heard, please hit the like and subscribe button. And remember, as always, God believes in you. I believe in you. Stay safe.